morning, gorgeous. How are you doing today? I'm Dr. Michelle Dav. Thank you so much for being here today. I just wanted to pop in with a really quick video to just give you a reminder of something to work on this new year. I know that in the new year, we all just want to be better and we start thinking about the things that we want to fix and change, and it's great. But something that can sort of creep up on you is your thought life, the thoughts that you have that slowly pull you down from the goals that you created for yourself. And the biggest culprit to this, my dear, is negativity, complaining, and thinking of things in a way that brings darkness instead of light. Now, this is something that I struggled with greatly, and I know I've talked about it before. Just growing up, I grew up in a very negative environment. And I was also one of the very few Black girls in my school. So when I saw the other girls kind of behaving in a certain way that I didn't feel aligned to, I gravitated towards people who were more intellectual. And I thought it was really funny when I could meet girls who were really smart, and the jokes they would tell or the things that they would come up with, their analysis of things were just so deep and interesting and funny to me. That's what I valued. And the people who I thought were just like really happy and chipper and positive, I thought they were dumb. I thought they were boring. And I really took on a negative way of thinking, which impacted my life greatly. And I know it impacted a lot of people as well. Even though many people didn't really say anything, what I ended up doing was attracting people who were very negative as well. And then it came to light one day and it, just changed my whole life, which I'll talk about later. So today I want to remind you that in order to truly be the beautiful feminine woman that you really are, in order to truly be a woman who lives life in a way that she actually enjoys it, loves it, can really take in each moment of your day in a way that's going to bring beauty and life to yourself and those around you, is to monitor your mind and to stop complaining. So I want you to go ahead and sit back, relax, get something to drink, get something to write with, and let's talk about this. The reason why I'm bringing you this content is because I was mentoring a young lady, and I noticed that every time I would ask her, how was school? How is this going? How is practice going? How are your lessons going? She always started it off with something negative. It's like whatever she wanted to pull from what she was going to tell me was the worst part of it. Oh, it was so hot. Oh, I had to run a mile. Oh, the teacher was late. And I started to catch on to it like, wow, every time we talk, that's what she holds on to is the worst part of the situation. So I brought it up to her and I said, sweetie, I want you to start thinking about the whole picture and not just the worst part of it. And when I ask you how things are going, I want you to think about it first. And I want you to think about the positive side. You can tell me the whole thing, but don't start with that. And it was really hard for her. She truly struggled to be able to see it, because when your mind is programmed to complain and to look at the negative aspect of things, that is what you see. People will say sometimes you see what you want to see, you hear what you want to hear, and it's true to some extent. You do pick up on what your mind naturally has already created a thought pattern to detect. You pick it up quicker. So this led me to share, because it's something that I truly did struggle with. I wanted to really help her in this area, but I also wanted to help you and to remind you that complaining is the one thing that will rob you of joy in your life. Each day when you wake up, it is something that you are going to have to remind yourself to catch yourself in. Moments of complaining. And this can come up in the most subtle ways. Like you could go out to the store to go to Target and get something, and the cashier can say, oh, how's your day going? And you can immediately say, oh, it's so hot outside. Or you can just immediately try to say something that maybe you think will be interesting, or it'll be a topic of conversation. And that can just bring down yourself, their mood, and it creates this atmosphere of complaining. The issue is that complaining doesn't do anything for you. It does not help you, and actually just makes things worse. When you are able to see the thing for what it is, that's fine. Like you can acknowledge something is there, and you can move on. Complaining is when you continuously drag it on or just highlight the negativity of whatever the situation is. Oh, it's Monday. I have to go to work. I hate my job. There's so much traffic. I don't have time to eat anything. I don't have money for Starbucks. Like, you just continuously let your mind go down this rabbit hole of negativity, because that's how it starts. With one bit of complaining will blind you from seeing the beauty and having the gratitude for the things that are really going on in your life. So I want you to ask yourself, how much do you complain? Do you find that you are one of those people who tends to immediately go towards the negative side of a situation? Are you around people who are the same as you? Like, do you have lots of conversations around things that are going wrong, things that are going bad? Like, when I call one of my family members the other day, I called to talk about some birthday stuff, and immediately he went into complaining about politics and the new laws coming into place and the weather and all of this stuff. And I'm just like, oh, this is not why I called you, and it just turned the conversation into a place where it didn't need to go. But this is very normal. People tend to want to talk about the negative things. And it can also happen where you maybe have come to a place where you're not that way anymore, or maybe you never were, and you talk to people who make it hard for you to encourage them. Because when people complain, oftentimes the people around them want to encourage them. They want to say, oh, don't worry about that. Or, well, what about this? Or, just kind of want to just bring them some life. But that person may actually be so stuck in their mentality that they cannot see what you're saying, or they don't want to budge from that stance. Like, they are determined to be upset or be annoyed or think negatively. I was talking to someone the other day about someone who just made this really big life change and moved somewhere to a foreign country. And I was just like, wow, they finally did it. That is so exciting. Like, this is a really exciting journey. And the person was like, I mean, not really. It's really hard to go somewhere new and adapt to it. Like, there's a lot of fear that comes with it. And I'm like, okay, yes, that is true. And it comes with every new change, but it's exciting to start something new. Like, I had to continue to stay where I was and not get pulled into that darkness, because it can happen. And then you leave the conversation just feeling defeated and just feeling ugly. And if you're someone who grew up in an environment where people were always complaining, this is something that could be on you. Like, it could be a stench on you that you don't even realize is there. And this is one of those things that you may have to see over time, as maybe people here and there may say something to you like, oh, why you gotta be so rude? Why you gotta be so negative? Why you gotta be a party pooper? Like, people may say things, and you have to kind of pick up on those things if you're completely unaware that you're doing this, in order for you to even realize that something is wrong, right? Because when you're in that environment, it's normal for you. However, if you step out of that environment and now you're a mother, now you're a wife, you are infecting your family with your behavior. Your children will start to complain. You'll start to hear your children whine and complain about all these things. I've seen it happen with someone who is in my family who is a big complainer. And this person's child now complains about everything. It can be very hard when you're dealing with children who are always complaining, because they're so young. Like, they haven't even really seen the world yet. They're at this point where they should be really enjoying everything as much as they can. They don't have responsibilities. So when you see them complaining about the smallest thing, it can be even more irritating. But this child's mother is always upset that the child is complaining and doesn't feel grateful for things that she does. And I look at her and I say, I wonder where she got that from. If you're that way, your children are naturally going to pick up on that. That's going to be their default behavior. And so, yes, there are some children who are more resilient, who have a different makeup. God just created them differently. But chances are, if their parents are always complaining, their parents are probably just giving them this template that this is the lens that you see life through. And that's how you can end up being if you do not change this part of you. You will eventually infect your children, your husband, your friends with that poison. And it is poisonous. It is deadly. It kills your joy. It kills your life when you see things through such a negative lens. Now, I know I've shared this before in the past, and I will link the video that I did when I talked about this part of me. But what helped me was to see the thing for what it is and not pretend like certain things are not happening or don't exist. But I'll either just state whatever it is. Like, I really wish I did not have to record a video today because I'm tired. That's okay. There is a difference between stating something that you feel. There's a difference between venting every now and then over something that's frustrating you and complaining, whining, right? Just fussing, being one of those people who just picks up the dirt from the atmosphere, all the negative, all the bad things, and constantly just spewing them out. There's a difference. You can state what it is. And that's where I got stuck when I was younger. I got stuck in this idea that if I wasn't saying it how it is, if I wasn't keeping it real, then I was being fake. If I just pretended like standing in this line for 2 hours was fine, then I'm being fake. Like, no, I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna say what I have to say, right? That's how I saw it. Instead of being able to say, this line is extremely long, we're gonna have to find a way to entertain ourselves for the next 2 hours, right? You can still say what you need to say. You can state the issue. You can even state that you're irritated by it. But just know that after that, you are complaining. If you're not solving the issue, you are complaining. You can also try to find the beauty in it. So one thing I shared in the past was being able to state whatever it is. And I would always just say, but the good thing is, I would always just add a little extra something to the end of it. So let's say the weather was really bad. It's raining and I have to run all these errands. I would say, ooh, this is going to be interesting. Like, it's raining outside. I have to run so many errands. But the good thing is I get to go out and experience some fresher air. Hopefully more people won't be out and I can come home and have my hot chocolate, right? I will just find something that I can tag on to the end of that. And I've also talked to a friend recently who was struggling with negativity, and I told her that something that can also be good, because again, she felt the need that she needed to vent and share how she felt. If she was overwhelmed at work or having issues with her husband, she felt that it was very healthy for her to be able to get it out. She was being affected, though, by other people in her life who did not like hearing it all the time from her, but felt that it was part of the process of her getting through it to share it. So I told her that it's really helpful to be able to say whatever she needs to say and then add what she's grateful for at the end of it. So she can say, I have so many files to get through and I'm just not sure how I'm going to get through this in 1 week, but I am grateful to be able to have this job. Like, this is a job that I've always wanted and I'm grateful to have it. Just wish that the workload wasn't so much. Just having that second sentence of saying that she's grateful helps her to be able to bring herself back down and see the reality of it, that it's not ideal, but she's still happy to be able to have work and get paid and be able to provide for her family. That's important too. And it helps not just you, but the person who you're talking to not have to take in so much nastiness, not have to feel the need to try to cheer you up or try to help you, but to be able to see that you have a full picture and they can share what they want to share, but they're not feeling dumped on all the time. So there are different ways to go about this, but the biggest thing is really realizing that this is something that's an issue for you and doing what you can to stop. Each and every day, waking up and trying to be better and saying, I'm not going to complain today. I'm going to try not to complain today. I'm going to try not to complain about it. That is the biggest thing that you can do to help yourself to grow in whatever area that you've set goals for. Going to the gym. Oh, I really don't want to go to the gym today. Everyone's always on the machines. All my clothes are dirty. God, I just hate that I have to lose 50 pounds. Like, why can't I just, right? That rabbit hole. Every single goal you have is going to offer an opportunity for you to complain. But it's your decision, my love, to determine whether you are going to fall victim to that or if you're going to look at the bright side and try to get yourself out of that loop. You can do it, but it does start with you realizing it and deciding that you want to change. Pray, ask the Lord for help, because God will always help you in any area that you are struggling in. Ask the Lord to show you the beauty in all of the days that you have, and spending time with God in the mornings can really help to shape your mind to see things in a different way, to see opportunities that come up, to look at challenges much differently, to see the victories and remember the goodness of God and the goodness of life and the things that are prepared for you. It truly makes a difference. So I hope that this was helpful to you, sweetie. I hope that your year is going well so far and that you are getting through the things that you said you want to achieve. And I hope that reminding you of how beautiful you are when you do not complain will really bless your life. If you like more content on femininity, on just being a beautiful woman, a beautiful homemaker, a great wife, a woman of God, then you can listen to my podcast, The Daf Show. I have more episodes there that are longer and are more in depth than what I share here on YouTube, and I hope that they bless you. Thank you so much for being here, and until next time, bye-bye.